Hello everyone, it's been a while, hasn't it? I've had a little bit of time off YouTube and now I've got to get back into the swing of things. I feel a bit nervous making this video again. It's just feels a little bit foreign, but here we go. This is a little project I've been working on over the last couple of days. It's a guest DT project for KittysScrapPost, who is Louisa Diaz's Zibbet store. This is a little kit that she's put together. It's called Shabby Chic Notions and it's absolutely beautiful. I love it, I really do. I don't do a lot of crafts with paper, and this is a printable kit. You download the file once you've purchased it and print it out on your own printer. With the kit you get, I've just printed out, this is the sheet that tells you everything that's in it. You get 8 corsets, French corset tags they're called. You also get 4 different envelopes. You get 9 ATC button, the size of an ATC card, and they're button cards, or you could use them for ATCs as well. And you also get these button images that can also not only be used for buttons but also to make bottle caps and things like that. Now they actually do print out beautifully. Mine may look a little bit different to everybody else's that has done a project with this set, because I was actually running out of ink and I didn't realize it, and I left it to print everything out, and when I saw it I thought, oh, but it was a good O actually, and I decided not to fill up with ink and reprint it, because as you can see the colours have turned out absolutely beautiful. They're so very, very delicate, and I'm very happy with how that printing turned out. You can still see the actual pattern beautifully, but it's ever so soft and pretty. And I've made a little not quite sure, maybe a little gift set for somebody. It's all, I've used most of the kit itself, apart from most of the buttons actually, because I don't have I think it's a 1-inch hole punch, and I did start cutting them out by hand, but they just didn't, they weren't as neat and tidy as I would have liked. But I did use a couple of them inside. But yes, it would be handy to have a 1-inch punch for things like that. On the top here I've just decorated. This paper is actually one of the papers, this one here, from the envelope. And because it turned out so beautifully, when I printed them out, I actually just popped it into my Photoshop and enlarged it a little bit so I could print my own paper with the exact same pattern out, and as you can see it worked beautifully. Even enlarged, the quality is just really lovely. So I've put some coloured applique under the top, under the embellishments here, and that was one that I got from Angie. Thank you, Angie. I have a wedding applique here from Zendelay, some beautiful pearl sprays from Hazel, and a couple of little cream flowers in pink out of my stash. I made a couple of little rolled flowers out of the scraps that I made the box with, as you can see. And around the back I've just got some folded doilies, another little flower, and I've scattered some beautiful crystal beads in the little spaces and things like that. And I think it's ever so pretty and delicate the way it's turned out. I've used a little bit of glitter on the edges of a lot of things, and I hope the light's picking that up because it does give it a very pretty effect. Around the edge I've put a bit of glitter just around the top. I've used a very pale pink lace all the way around the edge, and this little trim that I got from Lily's store to finish it off. And then I've attached 2 pieces of seam binding. They're attached just at the back here. You can't really see, the glue dried beautifully and it made it so it's not noticeable. And made a bow. Now this actual box, I was inspired by a lady on YouTube who'd followed a tutorial by Marion Smith, and I hope I've got that right. And it was a tag box, and it was done concertina style. And I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm so sorry if that was your video I watched. I even left a comment on it because I thought it was so nice. Please let me know if it was, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below. But for the life of me, I can't find what the video is. But I used that as my inspiration. I didn't actually follow any measurements or anything like that from Marion Smith's tutorial. I just sort of played it by, you know, memory. So we have a double seam binding bow, and this seam binding was sent to me by Karen Brake. Thank you very much, Karen. It matches it beautiful. It's so soft and so pretty looking. Really lovely. And then we open it, and this is all 300 gram weight paper to make this on, and inside I have all of the notions and tags and things like that. Now, I did sort of try and measure it the correct measurement to have the tags and the bags, and that was it, but I miscalculated and ended up with a bit too wide, so I just made a center part where I could place some dolly pegs. Now these are all the tags. As you can see, they're very, very pretty, and I've just wrapped a little bit of lace around each one. I found these beautiful iridescent bows in my local Dollar Tree store, and they just work really well. And I put a little bit of glitter around the top. I left the other side blank, and that's actually 2 layers of 300 gram paper or cardstock because it made it so much more sturdier. So there are 8 tags in the set, and I've just put different types of lace, nothing too bulky because, you know, I want them all to fit, but nice shabby chic style, you know, colours and pretty laces. Why aren't you going in? Oh, you're catching. There we go. Okay. And they do slide in there very nicely. Pretty pink one. I think that's the one that's around the box. I think I put one in slightly crooked or something. Another little eyelet lace. In my daughter's room at the moment. It's very hot in here. Seem to have a second burst of summer. That's a really pretty one, isn't it? Second burst of summer at the moment. I'm not enjoying it at all, but you know, it'll be over soon. And that gorgeous one. And I think the majority of all these laces are vintage laces too, which is nice. And then of course down the centre here I've just used some dolly pegs. I've whitewashed them. I've put a little doodad flower on the top there, and then I've just Alice, who is Kintree on YouTube, sent me some lovely flowers, and these were in the bag of flowers, and I've just used them upside down on the top of the dolly peg just to finish it off, and they worked really well. So we have 5 different colour seam bindings down there, and then in the bags, now I actually printed the bags out on some glassine paper that I had. I just cut my glassine paper to the size of an A4 sheet and fed it through the paper, and it turned out wonderfully. How delicate does that look? And they're so easy to just cut out. It worked really well. And to close them, I've just used some little whitewashed pegs again that Karina, 1959 Karina sent me in the book page challenge. Thank you for that. And the iridescent bows again. And inside each one of the bags, I have used the button cards. I've sewn the buttons on so that, you know, you just snip the thread at the back and use the buttons, and these are all vintage buttons in each of them, and all I've done is put a bit of glitter around the edge. I thought the colours were far too soft and pretty to be using ink because, you know, like I said, my printer was running low on ink, which made them quite pale, but very, very, very pretty. And I thought if I used a darker colour it would sort of spoil the look of it. Oh, these are such pretty buttons. Some only have 3 because, like I said, they're vintage and you don't always get a full set when you're finding vintage buttons, but how pretty are those buttons? They're a green colour and they're really lovely. But how pretty are these cards in the kit as well. And I've just rounded the corner in mine. You can leave them square, of course, but it's up to you. And I've just staggered the little pegs one side to the other. These are the bottle caps. I think these are the first bottle caps I've ever done, actually. Yes, and the bottle cap part was actually sent to me by Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. And the dome part was sent to me a long time ago by Faith. Thank you so much, Faith. And I've just put a little doodad flower on top as well, and one of the circle cutouts in the center. Sorry, I thought I had that in shot, but there you go. And they turned out really pretty. I put some vintage silver glitter just around the inside edge there as well, because like I said, I don't have a hole punch that side, so it was all done by hand, so I had to try and cover my tracks a little bit with my not so perfect cutting of a circle. But I think they look quite nice, and I've just got those stuck on there with a bit of double-sided tape, so they're easy to remove, and they were fun to make. So I'll probably just show you all the other ones in here now, but I'll fast forward through it so as not to, you know, take far too long. And there you have it. That's all the components of the actual kit, and it's a lovely little kit, and it's one that you can use time and time again as well, because it's a printable kit. Makes a lovely little gift set for somebody. Of course, oops, I'll have to re-glue that. Sorry about that. I will re-glue that little one on. Okay. So there we have it. There's the little kit, the Shabby Chic Notion set by KSP, which is KittysScrapPost. Of course, I'll put a link to Louise's Zippet store below so that you can have a look at the wonderful items she has in her store, and also a link to her YouTube channel, because she, you know, she does videos on all her kits and how to use them as well. Okay, thank you for joining me today. I hope I'm not too rusty at making videos. Practice makes perfect, so I've got a few more to make, so should be back into the swing of it in no time whatsoever. Okay, ladies, thank you so much, and gents, thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.